Welcome to the 2022 MassChallenge FinTech finale, celebrating bold entrepreneurs who are fearlessly innovating financial services. My name is Erika Lozano, and I'm the Director of Operations for the MassChallenge Challenge programs. This year's FinTech program welcomed 26 startups from 5 different countries and 8 different states. Nearly half of the companies were minority-led, and nearly half were female-founded. Reflective of the problems that many are facing today in the financial industry, some of the top challenge areas of this year's cohort included AI, sustainable investing, digitization, and financial literacy and wellness. You'll hear some of the stories born out of this year's cohort, and if you're inspired to learn more or how to get involved, please visit the link below. I want to extend a huge thank you to all of our challenge and community partners for making this program possible, to our very impressive and busy mentors for volunteering their time through one-on-one or group mentoring, and of course, to our startups for investing their often limited time to our program, making the most out of their participation and driving towards meaningful results. Thank you. It has been such a pleasure working with all of you this past 6 months. And it's been inspiring to see the growth and development of this year's cohort. The power of community is integral to the work that we do. This is evident in all that we've been able to accomplish in this year's program. Since January, we generated more than 27 enterprise-ready partnerships. We facilitated more than 15 introductions between startups and our global investor network. And we leveraged the support of more than 50 mentors. It is clear that the appetite to transform the financial landscape continues to spark the critical connections that nourish and sustain our ecosystem. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Robert Kirk, founder and CEO of Intergen Data, a MassChallenge FinTech 2022 startup, and Tatiana Sakrivskaya from Manulife John Hancock, a MassChallenge partner, for our first Fireside Chat.
Hi, Robert. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So thank you so much for taking a few minutes to connect. It's hard to believe the program is coming to a close. It's been an impactful 6 months. So we've certainly been pleased by our engagement, and I think as a team, we've accomplished a lot. We enjoyed getting to know you and the Intergen Data team. We've enjoyed learning about various uses of your data and how it could be used by other corporate partners to drive personalized customer experiences. So I think from our point of view, it's definitely been a successful engagement. But I'd love to get your take on how this engagement has evolved over the past 6 months and what you've learned and took out of it.
Yeah, so thank you. First of all, it's great to be here. Great seeing you again. Yeah, we've had a tremendous time with our time with you in several different ways, right? We've learned a lot more about your business, about being a record keeper, the things that you do, the various departments within John Hancock. I would say from an advisory perspective, you guys helped us understand the business even more deeply than we had previously before. You've also helped correct some of the misunderstandings that we've had. And what I love really about our integrations and how we work together, or our interactions, so to speak, has been how we challenged each other, how you said, here are some issues we're trying to overcome, here are some of the things that we're doing. And we had several sets of discussions about how our data could help, how our processes could help, how we look at the world. And when your teams came back, the various teams, and said, well, I challenged this or explain that further, we thought that was tremendous. And so the past 6 months have been a huge boon to our understanding of the business and what you do. But more importantly, it's an understanding of our customers, which we both want to help. So that's been really key for us in our interactions with you guys.
That's right. And I think, Robert, from my standpoint, it's always important to strike that right balance between the advisory relationship, right, and giving back to the startup you're engaging with in terms of the feedback on the product, technology, guiding questions, given insight into kind of the large enterprise and how it operates, and help startup to get better at enterprise readiness, but also use this opportunity as a way to learn about innovative technology, right? Learn about new applications of technology and how this technology could be leveraged within a large organization to improve our products or improve our customer experiences. So that's always been top of mind for us, striking the right balance between advisory relationship and supporting you as you look to expand your roster of enterprise clients, and also learning more about technology and potential use cases within our organization. So that's great. I'm really pleased that it's been a mutually beneficial and impactful relationship. As you think about other startups like yourself in the program, what advice would you give them as it relates to working with large enterprises and improving that enterprise readiness?
So that's a really good question. I would say maybe 2 points. One is be direct. Ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. It's a question that isn't answered, and it's not stupid because you don't know, but don't assume, right? We all know what assume stands for. What we want to do is get past that. The other one is to be more transparent. Talk with them. Like when we engaged with you guys and you said, here is a specific use case you wanted to look at, we came at it from one approach. But as we walked through that approach, we sat down and realized, well, wait a minute, the way we're looking at this isn't actually correct. It wouldn't help you. So the only way that that can actually come about is by having a good conversation and having you come in the middle of a sentence and say, hey, hold on, that doesn't work here. And us asking, well, why, right? If we didn't do that, then we would never know. And I always take the Simon Sinek approach, ask why. Why do you do this? Why do we do this? Why does this happen? And then realizing that both of us have different views of the same question, but of the same answer. And if we weren't transparent with each other to say, here is why it won't work, or here's our issue, or here's your issue, and this is why this isn't helpful, that's key. And if you don't have that relationship, it doesn't really matter. So putting up the facade that you know everything, putting up the facade of saying, well, we're the large enterprise, we know everything, and us being the data provider, we know everything, neither is true, but both are correct. So how do we get to that point where we help each other? I thought that would be my 2 biggest things, is being direct and just being transparent with people.
I totally agree, Robert. And I think that's something that we've done certainly very well in all of our frequent check-ins and dialogues that we've had over the past 6 months. Open communication and really investing the time up front to develop that relationship, right? And truly come at it as a team that's trying to solve a common problem. So establishing that cadence, establishing this mode of communication and open communication and transparency, I think it's key and truly results in better outcomes for both parties. What I've really enjoyed, and I think something that you've done exceptionally well, is helping us lead the discussions, right? Framing questions, proposing questions, challenging us, that really contributed to that open communication and the back and forth. So I would encourage startups engaging with enterprises, be open and be very purposeful in terms of the questions that you're asking, and be proactive and propose several questions. It's not just the enterprise asking questions and challenging startup and leading the assessment. It actually works both ways. So from my experience, I think engagements tend to be more successful when you have an engaged partner, both in an enterprise and a startup that contributes questions and helps guide the conversation. So it's been great to see, and I really value the time that your team had invested in this relationship, the commitment and the support that you've provided to us, and your openness and willingness to share your technology and your know-how with us. And I look forward to exploring next steps. It's really exciting that we're engaging in these kind of potential use case explorations and evaluations that will hopefully lead to a proof of concept and more of a hands-on exploration of Intergen Data technology.
Well, we are too. We're excited. We want to face that challenge head on.
That's right.
Bring it on. Come on, let's go.
Bring it on. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Robert. Always a pleasure, and I look forward to continuing the discussion with Intergen Data.
Awesome.
Thanks.
I'm Krista Bogdanov, Senior Partnerships Manager of MassChallenge FinTech. Our program would not be possible without the continued support of partners like Manulife, KPMG, and others. We so appreciate your eagerness to engage with and learn from our startups. Let's continue to hear about the successful relationships that formed throughout the MassChallenge FinTech 2022 program.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Lynn DeBartok, the founder of the S-Factor company. So we've been working with KPMG in strategizing around data usage, but also working on alliances to create a global social accounting advisory practice with the partners. And so a large part of my experience with them so far has been discovery around taxonomies, discovery around data testing, discovery around insights that would help their clients to better achieve their social reporting goals and or requirements for new regulations coming down the pipe on social indices. We've also been working with Putnam Investments, but in a completely different angle. So we'd like to thank the folks at MassChallenge, all of the organizers, for the opportunity to connect with these clients. It's fast-tracked us right through to decision makers, which is an opportunity we didn't have prior to the challenge, which is amazing. And we'd also like to thank the folks at KPMG and Putnam for keeping us on track and progressing the relationship forward. We're super excited to see where these developments go with both of these clients. So stay tuned for big news.
Hi, I'm Dan New from Ernst & Young, and I just want to talk to you about how much I've enjoyed my involvement as a mentor within MassChallenge, meeting the startups, learning their stories, and sharing some thoughts and ideas for them to consider. I've always looked forward to my time spent in the discussions where we share ideas and think through various different topics they're facing. But also, frankly, I'm learning just as much from them as hopefully they're learning from me. These firms have such amazing talent and ideas that I learn just as much as I give. It's really been a great two-way relationship where I hope and think both sides are benefiting from the time spent together. I just want to really congratulate all of the firms participating in MassChallenge, and I'm so looking forward to what comes next from all of you.
I think one of the things that's really important when you're working with a company or when you're working with a mentor, it doesn't really matter which lens you're using to look at this, is you're able to acknowledge that neither of you knows everything or understands everything, and that you're both trying to get better in order to achieve something that is of benefit to your customers. I mean, you've heard me say this. It's a focus on solving problems worth solving. And right. What I've appreciated since we got matched, actually before we got matched, was that you're building a company, your team is building a company that's focused on solving a problem worth solving. So let me ask you this. How do you feel, or do you feel that you've gotten better at explaining the problem you're solving and how you're solving it during this MassChallenge process?
Oh, absolutely. I think that like one of the most helpful things that you really nicely but very firmly said, hey guys, if people don't understand what benefit you're going to be providing to them, there's no way your company is going to work. So for us, being able to really succinctly put not just what our company does, but then show you the progress that we make towards actually building that, that's been the most exciting thing. Because as we went out to build after our conversations, I knew I'd have to face you again. And if it was just another couple of slides on a PowerPoint deck and a really great, conversation on my point to bring it across, I don't think you'd have been impressed, and you would have told us the same. So it pushed us to actually make progress instead of just doing more like, hey, we're the best company ever, we'll build it later.
So let me ask you this. When you got into MassChallenge, actually, maybe here's a better way to ask this. What you were expecting to get out of MassChallenge and what you did get out of MassChallenge, what has the difference been, and has it been a positive or a negative?
Well, definitely a positive. I can answer the last one backwards. We thought coming into this that we had a solution that would sell like hotcakes. Like people would be banging down the doors to get it. And really what we saw, both with our sponsor and with your mentorship, was you really can get there, but you need to understand it better, and you need to explain it in a way where the people on the other end of the table are saying, oh, I get it. Like, oh, this is where you slot in, instead of wow, these people are smart and are doing something that's really important for right now. That was vital for us.
Yeah, and to me, it's really, really important to understand where you or any company fits in the operations or the core processes of its target customers. So, what did you guys learn about that? How your platform fits into other platforms?
Sure. So we found out a lot through our sponsor, and then in chatting with you, we found out really what the people that are tasked with ESG and really data inside companies in general are trying to accomplish. What we found was there was a really hard objective given to them, and they needed to find easy stepping stones or milestones between them. So matching up our advertising, our marketing, and our pitches to say, I will hold your hand through these milestones instead of look at where we're going to. It's a beautiful, happy beach-like place where everything ESG is perfect, was a huge change for us and a huge positive one as well.
And did that lead you to a core business case for the customers? Because, I mean, clearly we've talked about this, and I've seen this over the last decade or more. There are conversations about whether ESG is material or not. But once you get down to actually doing it, you discover what's real and what's not. Did you start finding business cases for your customers for your product?
We did. And I think if I could kind of close my end in saying looking for those from the beginning is the best advice I could give to the future startups that are going to come through the program, is really helping them to understand the use case and the steps to get there from the beginning, and then finding the mentors that really do hold your feet to the fire. Because in this business, there's a ton of people that will cheerlead and pat you on the back and give you a sweatshirt and say, go for it. You really need folks like you guys that are a lot more critical and a lot more constructive in saying, if you do this, this makes sense to me. If you do this, it won't.
And from the mentor perspective, and this applies across all companies, all sectors, what we're looking for, or what we should be looking for, are companies that have a clear sense of the problem they're trying to solve, how they're trying to solve it, and why it matters, and really critically importantly, that they're willing to adjust the how in order to achieve the why. And those are the companies that go on to change markets and the world. And that's why I'm so glad we got matched together through MassChallenge. So thank you for letting me work with you over these past few months.
Perfect. Thank you, Mark.
My name is Charvi Gindotra, and I'm a Senior Innovation Manager at Commonwealth. Commonwealth is a national nonprofit building financial security and opportunity for financially vulnerable people, particularly for Black, Latinx, and women-led households. MassChallenge has been a great partner in connecting us with fintechs and financial institutions who are thinking about their role in advancing financial well-being. For instance, we've had a great collaboration with the sustainable investing team at Putnam Investments on ESG investing. Our work together has focused on thinking about strengthening the S or social metrics of ESG by expanding the analyses to include work of financial well-being. We published a report on this topic called The Pivotal Role of Investors in Work of Financial Security, which also has actionable takeaways and best practices for employers and investors. I'm very excited for all of the upcoming work through MassChallenge and partner fintechs. Congratulations to this year's cohort.
Hi, my name is Nico Maffei. I'm the CEO and co-founder ofIden, a two-sided marketplace that connects borrowers and lenders in Mexico. We partner with KPMG Mexico, and they were incredibly helpful in connecting us to the right financial institutions. As an early stage startup that brings traffic to the lenders that we have integrated to our platform, it was critical for us to build relationships with those initial financial institutions that could trust us. And KPMG was incredibly helpful and instrumental in helping us have the credibility to be connected to those first initial lenders that decided to get on board with our startup. One of the also most enjoyable parts of being in this cohort has getting to know other founders that have already gone through the same issues and challenges and have managed them successfully that we are currently facing. It's been a real privilege to be part of this cohort and get to know other founders. And congratulations to each and every single one of you for completing the 2022 cohort. And I cannot wait to see you at the finale.
Hey everyone, I'm JJ Malfatone, a director with KPMG's Growth and Strategy team. And I am joined here with Charisse Dean. And Charisse, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. I'm Charisse Dean. I'm a director in our transformation delivery in the advisory practice for KPMG.
Great. And Charisse, we're gonna talk real quick about the partner experience with MassChallenge. So, in your opinion, I know this is your first year with MassChallenge as a sponsor with one of the companies, but how has your experience been so far?
It's been amazing. I think the quality and caliber of partners and companies is top notch. And the innovation and level of innovation is what you should expect, but I was happily surprised to experience and participate in.
That's great. And I know for me, the partner experience is always fantastic. You know, as a market intelligence professional with KPMG, you know, we're always looking out for new ways of doing things, new partners, new sources of data, and you know, working with the companies in the program has allowed us to access all of that, and that's really why we do it. And you know, I would say MassChallenge and the companies that work with MassChallenge, you know, never cease to amaze us. But in terms of you know, what you're getting out of the program, Charisse, you know, what were you focused on, and how do you feel the results are?
So I am coming at it very probably niche specific in that, and maybe not so niche because it's such a broad topic, but I'm coming at it from an ESG perspective, and specifically the social in ESG. And just for anyone, ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. And looking at the social components and how we can help our customers help themselves, but also help us as a society. It was, again, I keep using the word amazing that we actually had partners and organizations in MassChallenge who really could potentially fit the niche of what we're looking to drive and how we're looking to go to market. So again, surprising, happy, excited. I would say that the experience has been quite good. Still a bit of work to do from a discovery standpoint, but I think we're definitely headed in the right direction, and looking forward to what we can potentially do and how we can partner, and then what we can do for our clients.
Oh, that's great. Last question here, because I know we've got to wrap up. You know, in terms of advice for startups, I'll toss this over to you, Charisse, in a sec. But you know, one of the things that I've always noticed is getting to a revenue generating relationship with a large corporate partner is difficult. That is the one piece of advice I will always tell startups. So yes, that is the holy grail. That is something that you want to continue to strive for, but don't underestimate the dedicated advisor role. You can start getting returns. You can start getting value from the dedicated advisor relationship immediately. Introductions to investors, introductions to potential customers, introductions to potential suppliers, anything, right? Leverage your mentors, leverage the corporate partners for that dedicated advisor role as much as you can, as early as you can. Sharice, any other advice to these companies here?
I would also say don't underestimate your value and the fact that you've built this company because you have specific expertise in an area that you might make the assumption that a large corporation does, but the matter of fact is we don't. And we're looking for the ability to partner with diverse, unique, nimble companies that can help us help ourselves and help our clients. And it doesn't have to be complex. It can be the simple, it could be that assessment, that simple assessment that you have the expertise in and that you could help us go to market with and help ourselves and help our clients. So think simple. Don't underestimate or devalue yourself and what you have to bring to bear, and continue to be entrepreneurs and continue to, I would say, pioneer and take the risk. You never know.
Very well said, Sharice. That's great stuff. All right, so thank you everyone for letting us join you here, and congratulations to the MassChallenge FinTech Class 2022.
Congratulations.
So the journey for me in MassChallenge and for Optalytics has been really exciting. We're a startup in the FinTech program, which we benefited tremendously from, and we continue to work with MassMutual, who were our partner, and working with a number of divisions there to find use cases with them. And subsequent to that, I worked as a judge for some of the new intakes for the MassChallenge program, which was really exciting to see some of the new tech coming in and be able to give back to the program in that respect. And then the opportunity arose to become a mentor, which again was a great opportunity. The opportunity for me being in the UK to work with US startups to get some insight and also to share some of my particular experience, particularly on the tech side and the business side, and to give back also around our experience on working as a startup with big enterprises and how you interact and how you go through their processes. So I'd just like to wish the cohort for this year an incredibly good luck for their finale, and best of luck in the future on your continued journey with MassChallenge.
What an inspiring snapshot of the numerous critical connections that were formed throughout this year's program. These relationships encouraged expertise to be shared between startups and their partners or mentors, which has assisted in the further development of their businesses. MassChallenge is thankful to you all, whether you are a startup, mentor, challenge, or community partner, for your participation in the MassChallenge 2022 FinTech program. It has been such a pleasure working with you all over the last 6 months, and it has been inspiring to see the growth of this year's MassChallenge FinTech startups. We hope that the relationships you were able to build through the Challenge program will propel your startup businesses forward to continue to change and generate a positive impact. To our partners, thank you for your continued support. And to the MassChallenge FinTech cohort of 2022, welcome to the MassChallenge alumni community.